Welcome back to First Listen, everybody. My name is Tenthile, and I hope you're doing well today. This week on First Listen, of course, you guessed it, we are finally getting our ears on Eminem's latest release, Revival. So Revival has been, a talking point probably for a lot of people. For me, I'm just a fan of Eminem. Always have been since he became pretty popular. Like 99's when I really got into him. This album is his 9th album, and he's showing his age a little bit in a couple ways. We'll talk about some more specific stuff as we get into some tracks, but I'm not hating on this album. I think it's good. I don't think it's his best. So before we get into specific tracks, I feel like I have to mention these, and I had to write them down because there's quite a few tracks that I need to kind of just scratch out from the discussion. So here goes. Chloroseptic, Untouchable, Remind Me, Framed, Heat, Offended. These tracks I'm not going to talk about because they don't fit for me. They just don't fit. And it would be a lot of sighing and, we don't need that. So let's get into this First Listen. Here we go. This album opens up with Walk on Water featuring Beyonce. This is an album of features, and the features are pretty good for the most part. Beyonce's open is really good. I mean, I like her voice. I've never been super into some of her stuff. Some of it's really good. This is really good. Once it goes into Eminem's part of the spoken rap, I felt like it fit. And I may be in the minority here, but I actually like this track. I think it's good. I think everything fits together the way it should. I don't think it's trying to do too much, and it's definitely not doing too little. It's open, and I mean, I don't see what everybody has really been hating on this track for. I thought it was good. If anything, maybe the track's too honest. I don't know, the piano saved it for me. I don't care if it's too honest. Next we have Believe. This track, the first minute for me was pretty rough. But once M hits his flow, I was on board. He even says it right there in the track. Sometimes I overdo it. Yeah. Sometimes he does. First minute for me, he overdid it a little bit. A couple of the tracks we've already talked about, he overdid it a little bit. But overall, the track actually hits pretty nicely because of the message. I believe in him. I'm still a fan. I still know he can drop some of the craziest rhymes, fit stuff together that I would have never thought of. He's still got it. People that think he doesn't, man, have you not been listening for the last 20 years? All right. Listen up now. Oh, and that effect during, I'm guessing it's a bridge, but I'm not really sure because the song kind of does a thing. That thing's perfect. Keep doing that. And next we have River featuring Ed Sheeran, which is phenomenal. Ed Sheeran is just, he's the best, isn't he? I mean, he's the best. The guitar, along with Ed Sheeran's voice, that open is just perfect. Eminem's flow, when it comes in, is also spot on. The subject matter for this track, oh man, that is a little bit tough on, on everything. It hits you a little bit weird. I was really trying to capture and hear all the lyrics, and I even went back and looked at the lyrics, and man, there's a lot of pain, a lot of honesty. There's a lot there. It goes deep. Next, we have Like Home, featuring Alicia Keys, which, let me put this out there, Alicia Keys on this track is freaking amazing. I can't even believe how good it is. It fits so perfectly for this track. And I've given Alicia maybe a little bit of undue flack here and there for her most recent album, but I digress. This track is a direct shot at Trump. And it is so spot on with some of these references. It's too many to even mention. It is so spot on. I feel like no one has said it quite this way all at once. And man, people really need to listen to this track. I don't know what it is. It's just so poignant. And like I said, Alicia Keys' feature really brings it home. I love this track. Then we have Bad Husband, which took me on kind of an emotional roller coaster. Again, really reading the lyrics as this track was playing out. Man, it did something to me. The feature on here by X Ambassador is also really good. Does a very awesome job of tying everything together and making it very emotional, very heartfelt. I just could not help but feel so down and so blue the whole way through this track. It does what it needs to do. I just really felt it. And next we have Tragic Endings, featuring Skylar Grey, who just does her thing. She is still phenomenal on this track. I really like how it all comes together. The beats, her flow, M's flow, it all just comes together to be this awesome track about something so depressing. It's a very down track, but they make it easy to listen to. That is hard to do. Next, we have Nowhere Fast, featuring Kalani, and I'm sure I mispronounced that, and I'm sorry. Her feature on this is quite good. Again, the features on this album are very good for the most part. This one, still right in that ballpark. M's quick raps on this track are very good. They hit just right, hard enough. A little pessimistic, but hey, he does that best. Next we have Need Me, featuring Pink. This is a Pink track. Almost the whole track is hers, except for one verse that just goes on and on and on. M just goes and goes. I have no idea how he can carry a flow that long, but he does. Back to Pink, she actually does a very nice job. Hits some nice high notes in there. I really love her voice still. Still love her poppy sound. Still love her delivery. I wish she would be on every one of his albums as a feature. Keep doing what you're doing. I love it. And next we have In Your Head, which is maybe one of my favorite things Eminem has ever done, because it has a sample, or it appears to be a sample, kind of just zombie the whole way in the background. And I love it. It's perfect. His flow is on point. The message is just... whew. Moving on, we have Castle. Castle is a letter directly to his daughters. I mean, the balls to write this track, or the fortitude or whatever, to get this out there. to produce it, to edit it, all the stuff that goes into it, makes him such a beautiful man. To put this stuff out there that is so vulnerable. I don't know how he does it, but he really pulled it off. And finally, this album finishes out with A Rose, which is a beautiful track, super honest, super vulnerable. I mean, if you thought you couldn't be more taken down into that area of just the feels, this track, well, it takes you there even further. What a perfect punctuation on an album that is a heck of a roller coaster ride. Overall, I really like this album. At the top, I mentioned there are some tracks that I'm not a fan of. This happens on rap albums and other albums. It's just the way it is. I think the album is good. It's not his best, but it's a heck of a release. And I think people should really listen to some of these tracks twice. I'm going to listen to those ones that maybe I'm feeling like I'm a little hard on again, just to make sure that I'm getting everything I wanted to get out of this album. So that's going to do it for this edition of First Listen. I hope you enjoyed. Hit like if you liked it, dislike if you didn't like it. I'm in a good place with this one. Keep on doing what you're doing, Em. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. We'll see you in the next First Listen. And happy holidays.